So many call them the New York Yankees of Connie Mack World Series. And like the New York Yankees, either you're loved or you're hated. Not in a bad way hated, but it's one of those things where when you win so much, you're just tired of them winning so much. Well, welcome back, Varsity Pulse Radio listeners. Again, my name is Travis Johnson, the official podcast of the Connie Mack World Series. And man, how excited I am to bring you this episode today. You know, it's one of those topics that you want to talk about, but it's this love-hate relationship you have with it. And I'll explain more when it comes. And the deeper that I dove into this topic and this team, the more I fell in love with them. So many call them the New York Yankees of Connie Mack World Series. And like the New York Yankees, either you're loved or you're hated. Not in a bad way hated, but it's one of those things where when you win so much, you're just tired of them winning so much. But that just shows volumes of how good and how incredible this program has become over the years. I'm talking about the Midland Redskins. It all started in 1966 when Papa Joe Hayden, founded the Midland Redskins in hopes to bring and teach and coach youth players from 6 years old all the way up to 18 to help them to achieve the next level. At first, it was started to get them to get to college and to find a college home for them and be able to play baseball in those universities, at those JCs, junior colleges, but it has evolved way beyond that. And we're going to get some more statistics with them here in a little bit. But I'm going to go out on a limb here, and please, somebody tell me that I'm wrong. But I firmly believe that the Midland Redskins are the best and the number one amateur 18 organization in the United States. I will prove to you why they are. So Joe Hayden, he did this for 45 years. He's handed his reins over to his son and to many other coaches that have been along the way and teaching the same foundations that Mr. Hayden has done from the very beginning. Hard work, dedication, being respectful, and playing for the right reasons of the game of baseball. One of the greatest and coolest things that I've seen with the Midland Redskins, and I've learned to appreciate them a lot more as of late. I've taken myself out of the competitor side and I put myself on the media side per se, working for KSJE Radio. I've been able to interview a lot of them and seeing how these kids are down to earth. They are respectful, yes or no, sir, and they love the game of baseball and they want to get to the next level. You could see it in their eyes. You could see it in the passion of how they play on the field, but also how they present themselves off the field. It's so nice to see an organization that teaches that still to this day and knows that these young men will move on past high school baseball, going into D1 schools, D2, JC. Some will be drafted right out of the summer. And they recruit on levels of not only do they want this kid to have the drive to do well, they want this kid to succeed, but they also do it on merit and personality and how this kid handles himself when he fails and exactly what a professional scout would be looking for or a college scout would be looking for. They're doing the same thing. Their organization has grown very large across the country. I believe they're now in 5 states, and they have an organization that teaches from a Nationals team to the Connie Mack World Series team, which is the Midland Redskins, many different levels. I will leave a link down below so you can check out their website, their history, the players that have come through here. Absolutely incredible of what they've done for 18U players and allowing them to grow into very athletic and respectful young men. So I'm saying as a whole that the Midland Redskins are the most successful and the best organization for amateur baseball in the United States. Let's just break this down a little bit. The Redskins have won 17 Connie Mack World Series, okay? That's just a small piece of the puzzle. Okay, this is my numbers were updated as of last summer. So they're not up to date this summer. I don't have any schedule for this summer, but as of 2023, they've had 3,614 wins, 770 Division I players, 512 players drafted, 100 plus major league players, 47 first round draft picks, over 3,000 college players. So that's encompassing D1, D2, D3, NAIA, and JUCO. They have 32 AABC regional titles, which is American Amateur Baseball Congress. That's what Connie Mack World Series is in. They have 25 perfect game All-Americans, which that is on a different organization and tournament and league. Again, they have 17 Connie Mack World Series championships. In those 17, they have three-peat 4 times, and I'm going to verify the 4th. For sure, three-peat 3 times at this point. I'll go back into that later, probably in another show, as we're digging into some of my past series back in the 80s. I found some interesting things. Back-to-back championships twice. And every year when they're coming here, every year they come to the Connie Mack World Series, you know that they're going to be one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the tournament, if not win it. Prime example, last year, 2023, probably the toughest year that they've had in the sense of one-on-one games through the tournament. They had 3 extra inning games. They won 2 of those 3 extra inning games and lost the championship game in extra innings. Just a phenomenal World Series last year. And speaking of that, join us on the 2024 Connie Mack World Series on KSJE Radio. That will be streaming live. All the games will be live, all pool play as well as bracket play. I will be a part of that team. I'm so thankful I'm able to do that. And that starts July 26th and goes through August 3rd if that game is needed for the championship game. That is Saturday. So that is a Friday to a Saturday. So excited for this year. So continue on their achievements. So they have 4 National Amateur Baseball Federations, the NABF champions. They have 3 AABC Mickey Mantle championships. They have 2 Perfect Game WWBA, that's the World Wood Bat Association World Championships. That's in Jupiter. They have 2 Continental Amateur Baseball Associations, that's the CABA national titles. They have 1 Perfect Game 18U Baseball Championship Series, that's the BCS Championships. And they have 2 Major League Baseball Hall of Famers. One of them is Ken Griffey Jr., and the other is Barry Larkin. 2 players that changed the game. So both those players, Ken Griffey Jr. and Barry Larkin, were both inducted into the Connie Mack World Series Hall of Fame as well. A few years ago, the kid, Ken Griffey Jr., came out. I'll post some pictures down below with Ken Griffey Jr. accepting his award for the Hall of Fame. What a great honor for him to come back to Farmington. not to say anything about how he is as a person. I've never met him physically or personally, but to show that he's not better than anybody else, he comes back to little Farmington, New Mexico, puts us on the map one more time outside of the Connie Mack World Series itself, and says, you know what? Thank you so much. It's an honor that I'm being appreciated and recognized to be in the Connie Mack World Series Hall of Fame. Incredible. The Midland Redskins have been recognized for the commitment to excellence and their role in developing young talent. The team's success has made it a model for other amateur baseball programs across the nation. I'm going to dig deeper in future episodes about how the Midland Redskins have impacted other organizations. I can only imagine how they see, wow, this program is successful every single year on some different level. What are they doing right? How are they doing it? I know that here in Farmington, we do have programs to get younger players to work themselves up into high school ball and the transition of going into hopefully college, professional. That's always every baseball player's dream, is to go to the major leagues, or some are just to go to college and play college baseball for a JUCO or a D1 school. But we all have the same similar goals. The Midland Redskins just do it on a different level. They pull from Midwest United States all the way to the East Coast. And in fact, another one, a local here in Farmington, was Chase Silseth. He played with the Midland Redskins, and he's one of the few players that actually was a part of one of the three-peats. He did it in 2016, 17, and 18. He was a pitcher all 3 years. His age just fell just perfectly in there. And a little history about him. He was actually a bat boy for Midland Redskins when he was younger. And I guarantee you that was one way of him getting into the program as a young man. And then Chase Silseth did amazing as the baseball side of things. For my understanding, he has a state record for New Mexico for strikeouts in a season and strikeouts over a career. So legit pitcher. Well, of course he's a legit pitcher. He's playing for the Los Angeles Angels. He is the number 4 starter for them. So you know that he is a legit baseball player, and he went through the Connie Mack World Series, just like so many others, through the Midland Redskins program. Another thing that I would like to do is get him on this show. Him being from Farmington, I know he comes back almost every winter, and I would be honored to get him on the show, interview him not only about the Connie Mack World Series, but how the impact of the Midland Redskins had on him and his baseball career, but also his professional career. And my goal is, if you do have anybody out there that was in the Connie Mack World Series and they have moved on to the next level, be D1, or I know there's a couple players that are playing for the Savannah Bananas. They're also, of course, playing the major leagues, from Manny Ramirez to, Eric Hosmer and many, many others that have went through the Connie Mack World Series and have moved on to the professional side, the MLB side. I would love to interview them and get a personal experience of them coming to Farmington, New Mexico and playing in this prestigious Connie Mack World Series. The Midland Redskins, I could go on all day long about the Midland Redskins and how much they have impacted us, but I'm going to back up a little bit. At the beginning of the show, I said they're like the New York Yankees. To me, they're 100% like the New York Yankees. And I used to think I had this outside perspective that you had to have money to get into this program, and that may be a thing. I don't know. But I do know that doing the deep dive into this organization is they really pride themselves in creating young men to move to the next level, creating young men to be good, outstanding people in society. That's their ultimate goal, is to create this environment around them to help them improve in not only baseball, but in life. And what better program could you ask? What better organization could you ask for? I mean, that is the ultimate goal of any father, any parent, to have your child grow up and have good, positive examples in their life so that they may grow and be a positive influence on the people around them. The Midland Redskins organization, the Midland organization, Midland Baseball, is a prime example of how to do it right. Now, Joe Hayden, when he had a dream in 1966, when he started this, in 1966, that was the year after the Connie Mack World Series started in Farmington, New Mexico. Is there any correlation between the two? I don't think so. I think it was just timing. But then for the next 45 years of his life, he dedicated himself helping these young men, these boys, to grow up to be young men and making a difference in our communities and in the lives and the people around us. I can't think of a better way to highlight them is to put a podcast out there to not only highlight the Connie Mack World Series, but to ultimately highlight the teams that come here every year. This year, we're going to have 12 different teams, some with the same name, but they're going to be different teams. Again, the Midland Redskins will be here, the 2024 Connie Mack World Series. That's July 26th through August 3rd. I'm excited how they bring and what they put on the field this year. I know we won't be let down on the caliber of players. And as I'm looking through the many information and the many players that have come through this organization of how they have just moved to the next level. And I was fortunate enough to play college baseball. I played JUCO, then I went to a Division II school. I was fortunate enough to do that. And it is hard to do. It's hard to get to that next level. And if I would have had a program like Midland Baseball to funnel me through, I honestly believe that I may have went a different college, even maybe of a better baseball college. Why? Because they would have taught me even more baseball. But not only that, would have driven me better to do better in school. I know that is a big part of it. They want student athletes that come out of their program. Sure, they're a summer ball program, but that's all part of it. You can't go to D1 school if you're not doing well in school. So learning about this organization just made me appreciate them more. And I hope that I am able to convey what I have found and what I've discovered along the way. Again, the accomplishments speak for themselves for one of the top organizations in the United States for amateur baseball. And I know it's not going to stop here. It's going to continue to grow and continue to get better as they're spreading across the nation more and more. More people are going to hear about this organization, but also in the hopes of this podcast, I want more people to hear about the Connie Mack World Series and what this series has to offer you as a player, you as a future, maybe a D1 player or maybe just a college player. If you want to go to the major leagues, that's all mostly every baseball player's goal is to get that dream of going to the dance. Well, for a lot of players, the Connie Mack World Series is that stepping stone. It is that bridge that gets you from amateur summer baseball to being exposed to being, this young man is a great baseball player. He has great character, and we want this young man to go play with us in the next level. And again, that could be JUCO or D1 or pros or anything in between. And that's what I'm here for. And that's what the Connie Mack World Series is ultimately about, is helping these young 18, 17, 16-year-old kids, these young men, to go to the next level. I'm so happy and so pleased that I was able to talk about the Midland Redskins. I feel like they are an organization that many of us need to follow. They need to see how they run their business, but to see how their business is making positive impacts, not only the young men that are a part of the Midland Redskins organization, but also how they are a positive impact in society and in the people around us. So again, thank you so much for listening to Varsity Pulse Radio, the official Connie Mack World Series podcast. Hang on for next week. We will be talking about brackets, tournament play, and how these teams all come across the country and how they qualify to get into the 2024 Connie Mack World Series. Thank you. See you next time.